Okay guys, so we're going to go over the consumer in proportions test review. Number one, Jacob's family went to a local restaurant. The bill was $24. How much money should Jacob leave as a tip if he plans to leave 15% tip? So this question's asking for just the tip. So we know that 15% is comprised of 10% and 5%. So first I'm going to find 10% by moving the decimal one place to the left. So I'm going to take $24, decimals at the end. I'm going to move one place to the left. So 10% is $2.40. And then to find 5%, I'm going to cut 10% in half. So half of $2.40 is $1.20. And so since Jacob wants to leave a 15% tip, I'm going to add 10% and 5% to get $3.60. So the correct answer is the second option here. So the reason why we do not add the tip here to the $24 is because the question, again, if you go back and read, says how much money should Jacob leave as a tip if he plans to tip 15%. Okay, number two says, again, I'm going to use my highlighter to highlight keywords, true or false. Molly wants to buy shoes that are regularly priced at $75. If she uses a 20% off coupon, the sale price of the shoes would be $15. So remember, the sale price is the amount that you pay. So to figure out how much you pay, you would take the $75 and figure out 20%. So remember, 10% means to move the decimal once to the left. The decimal's at the end of the number. So once to the left is $7.50. And so 20% means that you're going to double that number. And so double 750 is $15. So you could times it by 2, or you could add 750 to 750. And so the question says that the sale price of the shoes is $15. $15 here represents the amount that Molly would save. So to find the sale price, you would have to do 75 minus 15. So this statement is false because, again, the $15 is the amount that Molly would save, not the sale price. Okay? Number 3. The Arianos go out to dinner to Outback, and their bill is $85.50. If tax is 5%, how much do the Arianos pay, including tax? So another strategy, if you do not want to find 10%, 5%, and 15%, is that you can take the $85.50 and you can multiply it by the decimal of the percentage. So remember to go percent to decimal. The decimal's right now at the end. You move the decimal twice to the left. And so 5% as a decimal is 0.05. So you can take your calculator and multiply 85.50 times 0.05, and that would give you 4.275. And since, remember, we're dealing with money, we're going to round to the hundredths. So 7 is in the hundredths. We look to our neighbor. It's a 5. And so 5 is going to make the 7 bump up to 8. So $4.28. So this is the tax. If I go back and read the question, it says, how much do the Arianos pay, including tax? So when they go out to dinner, not only are they going to pay the $85.50, they're going to pay the $85.50 plus the tax. And so $85.50 plus the $4.28, remember you can use a calculator, is $89.78. So it's this third option here. Okay, so if you did want to find 10% and then cut 10% in half to find 5% for number 3, you could do that as well. This is just a different strategy. Okay, on to number 4. Chris bought a set of golf clubs that was discounted 15% from the original price of $600. What is the amount that Chris saves using the discount? So this question is just asking how much he saves. So again, I can use my strategy of finding 10% and finding 5% and then adding them to give me 15%. So 10% of 600, remember the decimal's at the end, move the decimal once to the left. So 10% $60. And so if I cut that in half, that's going to be $30. And so $60 and $30 is going to be $90. And so I'm going to stop there because it says, what is the amount that Chris saves? Now, if it asks for the sale price, I'd take the 600 and I'd subtract 90 to give me 510. But this question just asks me, how much does Chris save? Okay, number 5. Ariana bought 3 shirts for a total of $27. Sorry, trying to get my highlighter here. If sales tax was 5%, how much tax does Ariana pay for the 3 shirts? So the 3 shirts totaled $27. And so again, remember a strategy is you could take 5% and change it to a decimal to give you 0.05. And this will allow you to figure out what 5% of 27 is. So this is the calculator method. So again, you take 27 and you times it by 0.05, and that gives you $1.35. So go back and read the question. The question says, how much tax does Ariana pay for the 3 shirts? So I have found the tax. If I was asked to find the total, I'd take the $1.35 and add it to the $27 that she pays for the shirts. Again, for number 5, you could find 10% of 27 and then cut it in half to find 5%. But again, this is a different method, which is the calculator method. Okay, so number 6 is now on proportions. It says, what is the solution to the following proportions? So this question is asking you to find x. So what you're going to do is you're going to cross multiply. So 4 times x is 4x. And then 12 times 5 equals 60. And so your equation is 4x equals 60. And so the inverse of multiplication is division. So you're going to divide each side by 4. And you're going to get that x equals 15, which is letter A. For number 6, you may have also seen that there is a scale factor from 4 to 12 is times 3. So 5 times 3 is 15 working backwards. So if you worked the other way, you may have seen that the scale factor is 1/3. Because 12 times 1/3 is 4, but again, since we're going the other way to the left, we have to do 5 times 3, which is 15. All right, let's go on to number 7. Number 7 again says, what is the solution to the following proportion? So it's asking you to find x. So we're going to cross multiply and set up an equation. So 9 times x is 9x, and then 15 times 6 is 90. So remember, if you can't do mental math, you can always use your calculator. And so your equation is 9x equals 90. So to get x, you're going to isolate the variable, and you're going to do the inverse of multiplication, which is division. So you're going to divide each side by 9, and you're going to find that x equals 10, which is letter B here. Okay, and for this one, it's not easy to see a scale factor, so the cross multiplication method is the best method. Okay, number 8 is another solve for x. Again, looking at the relationship between 3 and 10, I do not see a scale factor, so I'm going to use the cross multiplication method. So x times 10 is 10x, remember the coefficient's always first, and 4 times 3 is 12. 10 times x equals 12 is your equation. The inverse of multiplying is dividing. So divide each side by 10. And so x equals 1.2, which is letter D. Okay. All right, guys, hang in there with me. Let's look at the next problem here. All right, number 9. Number 9 is the infamous select all. This says select all equations below that are proportions. So we are going to cross multiply, and if the cross products are the same, they are proportional. And if they are not the same, they are not proportional. So 12 times 5 is 60. Again, remember you can use a calculator. And 15 times 4 is also 60. So since the cross products are the same, A is proportional. Then I'm going to cross multiply the next set of ratios. So 11 times 9 is 99, and 15 times 5 is 75. And so since the cross products are not the same, I'm not going to choose B. They are not proportional. Again, these numbers are large, so you can use a calculator. 42 times 9 is 378. And 14 times 27 is also 378. So again, the cross products are the same, so these two ratios are proportional. All right, 13 times 5 is 65. And 12 times 6 is 72. So these cross products are not the same, so they are not proportional. All right, one more to check. 17 times 10 is 170. And 34 times 4 is 136. Again, these cross products are not the same, so D and E are not proportional. So the correct answers for number 9 are A and C. So you would select A and C. Okay. All right, on to number 10. We've got word problems. So the key to success with word problems is highlighting keywords, writing out our verbal ratio of what we're comparing, and then cross-multiplying and solving for the missing variable. Joe knows 4 large pizzas will feed 8 people. If 20 people are coming to Joe's house for dinner, at this rate, how many pizzas will he need? So we are comparing pizzas to people. So Joe knows that 4 large pizzas will feed 8 people, and he wants to plan a party. So he is planning on having 20 people come to his house. So people is in our denominator, and we want to know how many pizzas Joe needs to get. So our proportion is 4 over 8 equals x over 20, so I cross multiply. 8 times x is 8x, and 20 times 4 is 80. To isolate the variable, I divide each side by 8, which is the inverse of multiplication, and I find that x equals 10. So Joe will need to order 10 pizzas if 20 people are coming to his party. If you look here at the relationship between 4 and 8, you can see it's double. And so since, again, I'm going the opposite direction, I need to cut 20 in half to get 10. That is another method that you could use. All right, number 11. The school requires that there be 3 chaperones for every 20 students for field trips. If there are 260 students going on the next field trip, how many chaperones will be needed? Okay, so in this word problem, we're comparing chaperones to students. So for every 3 chaperones, there is 20 students. And so if there are 260 students going, this question is asking how many chaperones would you need? So again, the verbal model is key. It tells you where to place your numbers. So now that I have placed my numbers correctly, I'm going to cross multiply. So 20 times x is 20x. And then 3 times 260, again, remember you can use a calculator, is 780. And then I'm going to divide each side by 20 to get 39 chaperones. And the reason why I know I'm looking for chaperones is because that's where X is placed, with the chaperones. So C is the answer. Okay, two more. All right, number 12 says, again, I'm going to pull out not my calculator, sorry, my highlighter here. The ratio of ounces of red paint to ounces of blue paint to make purple paint is 4 to 7. You currently have 56 ounces of blue paint. Which proportion below could be used to help determine how many ounces of red paint you need to add? So we're trying to make purple paint, but we're making purple paint by mixing blue and red. And so that's our verbal ratio, red over blue, because it says the ratio of ounces of red paint to blue paint is 4 to 7. So for every 4 of red, you need 7 of blue ounces. You currently have 56 ounces of blue paint. So blue paint's in the denominator. We're going to put that there. How many ounces of red paint would you need to add? So X is our red. So this question is not asking you to find X. This question is asking you which proportion could be used to find X. So the proportion that you would use is letter A. And wait, no, sorry, not letter A, because that's 7 over 4 equals X out of 56. So that's out. So you're looking for the proportion that looks just like this. 4 out of 7 equals X out of 56. So that's going to be letter D. Okay? So you're matching the proportion that you would use. All right, last one here. Jesse wants to drive his car across a bridge, number 13, which is shown on the scale drawing below. If the scale is 1/4 inch equals 20 feet, how many feet will Jesse's car travel from the beginning to the end of the bridge? Okay, so you need to use this picture because the distance from the car to the end of the bridge is 6 inches. But we first need to use our verbal model in our scale. So our verbal model is inches over feet, and it says for every 1/4 of an inch, remember that's 0.25 as a decimal, that's 20 feet. And this question is saying if the distance between the beginning of the bridge and the end of the bridge is 6 inches, how many feet is that? So we're looking for feet. Again, the end of the statement here, or the last sentence, will also reiterate what you're finding. And so it says, how many feet will Jesse's car travel from the beginning to the end of the bridge? So that again further confirms that we're looking for feet. So now we're ready to cross multiply. So that's 0.25x, and 20 times 6 is 120. And then we're going to divide each side by 0.25. So again, you can use a calculator. So 120 divided by 0.25 is 480. And we were looking for 480 feet. So that is letter C. All right, guys, that's the end of the qualifier. Hopefully this qualifier helped you realize the mistakes that you made on the questions that you did wrong, and that you're able to better understand now. Good luck. Thank you.